Hi, everyone. Hey, thanks for taking the time to listen to this. Um, this will be short, 10, 15 minutes at the most. But I wanted to let you know about a uh, workshop I was at for a couple of days. It was Monday and Tuesday this week. It's the Nelson Nash Institute uh, think tank, they call it, where all the practitioners have an opportunity to get together. And this year, because of the virus, we did the virtual, and there were probably close to a couple hundred of us there. Um, the theme of the gathering, the title was uh, "Protecting Nelson's Legacy." And David Stearns, who is the president of the board of NNI, came up with that. He said that he decided on that because he'd noticed in the last couple of years there's an awful lot of noise out there in the marketplace, meaning on YouTube and on other social media uh, with videos and blogs that are not completely true. They're calling it different names, and they're it kind of confuses the general public on who to believe and who to listen to. And this is the big reason why they started the Nelson Nash Institute, so that people could be brought through this education and learn. So the process is you get your life insurance license, you're interviewed by the board, you're either accepted or you're not. Not everyone is accepted. But if you're accepted, then you go through the training, you take a test. That test is getting more and more difficult. Um, and then you're mentored. And the mentorship can be 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. It just depends on the person. And then you're a lot, free to go. And you can be up on their website, which is where you'll find me, which a lot of you did find me there. Anyway, he wants to reinvigorate that training and mentorship, and he only advocates people using an NNI practitioner, certified practitioner. I would concur with that. That's a really good idea. Why not? You know. Um, anyway, the the whole concept was created by Nelson Nash, and it's really a simple system. And all of this confusion out there is confusing it. And that's, to me, why it's so important to use a practitioner. Because once these things are set up, they're set up because it's a contract. Um, and when I say that they're simple, the concept is simple. You really are, all you're doing is, just say you have some debt, you're in debt, and what you're doing is over time, because this is not a fast thing, this is a long-term asset where you're currently, paying so much money to banks. And over time, you're building up capital inside this whole life dividend paying policy. And you start to buy back your debt from your bank by taking a loan with the insurance company, not out of your policy, but with the insurance company. And you pay off that loan with the bank, but then you pay yourself that money that you were normally sending to that bank. You send it to your policy to pay back that loan with interest. And doing that over time, you'll eliminate all your debt. All that will be paid inside of your policy. So you're recapturing the principal and interest, and it's growing compounded. inside of your policy. Eighth wonder of the world, anyone ever heard that? The eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. This is what was said. But I would add that the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest that's uninterrupted. It never gets interrupted. That's magical and powerful. So why wouldn't you want to do that? Some people will say, well, I don't have any debt. I pay cash for everything. Well, if you're paying cash, you're giving up the interest that you could be making on that money, because once you give that money away, it's gone. But if it were run through a policy first, it would never actually leave the policy, and it's gathering interest every day. You can actually see it inside the portal with the insurance company for your account. And so it's growing all the time. You can then take the money and go and buy something that's another asset. Or, maybe you want to invest in the stock market for some reason. Maybe Bitcoin is attractive to you. So you could take some money from your insurance company. You borrow it from the insurance company. It's never coming out of your policy. Borrow it from the insurance company, buy some Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin goes crazy and you want to liquidate that part of it and put the money back in your policy, then hey, that's great. But whatever it is, maybe you want to buy real estate, maybe you want to buy a car, it's all kinds of things. It's infinite, infinite banking concept. That's why he uses that word. And there are no exceptions to the rule that we finance everything. There's no exceptions. Everything is financed. And I would challenge you to think about, are we using finance every day in our lives? Pretty much every day. Somewhere, somebody's buying something or selling something. The other nice thing about this is that inside this tool, that money, your money, is never taxed again once it goes in there. It's never taxed in your life again. That's pretty powerful too. And so I would like to ask the question, would you like a big bank or a little bank? Personally, I'd like a big bank. And I would like branches of them, multiple of them. So Nelson would talk about a system of policies, which are basically, how do I want to say this? Branches, bank branches, right? So in the last, not this one 2 days ago, Monday or Tuesday, but last year, David Stearns, Nelson's son-in-law, showed us the 26 policies that he has, that he owns, that David owns on his family and grandkids and everybody. 26 policies. They have a family bank. If somebody needs something for investment or pay a debt or whatever, they go to the family bank and they sign a contract just like they would at a bank. So anyway, someone might also say, well, I'm too old for this. Well, I'm 65. I just turned 65 in December. And this year, I'm going to buy another policy on me, because I am still going to purchase things in my life. I'd like a new truck, I'd like to take a trip, things like that. I'm going to continue to spend money until I'm no longer here. So I'm going to start a policy on myself. There's always the need for capital. And so I want to start one so I can show my grandkids all the policies that we had before they came along and teach them this process. to leave that legacy, to leave our family better off than they would be without it. So anyway, points of interest, just little anecdotes, such as like the average 22-year-old over the course of their life will give away over $600,000 in interest. This isn't me saying it. This is out in the marketplace. You can find that. There are articles about it. What would that do for somebody's life if that was in their bank? It would completely change their life. Who's the largest purchaser of whole life dividend paying insurance with mutual insurance companies? Banks, commercial banks. The other large holder of whole life is corporate America. They buy them on their key employees. It's the safest asset. It's wonderful. So I have an idea that I'd like to just share with you, and that is the NNI, Nelson Nash Institute, every year records all the presentations. So they just recorded all the presentations on Monday and Tuesday, and David will have them up on the website, on the practitioner website, sometime either by the end of this week, tomorrow, or early next week. Well, they've been doing this since back 2011. So 11 years. They have hundreds of presentations, and I can't send them to you. But what I can do is I can share them through a Zoom and share my screen, and I could watch it with you. I could show you the one where David explains his 26 policies. And so I'm asking if anyone would be interested in doing that. If you are, just reply to the email that I sent you and let me know. And the last thing I want to point out is kind of goes back to what David was saying. There's a lot of noise out there, in that I highly recommend, even if you, because I know some of you have policies already, you're using them and you understand them pretty well. But I want to say you should read this at least once a year, at least. I'm reading it again right now, and I just read it a couple of months ago. So I'm reading it again. This will be my fourth time. But like I said in the beginning, I'm a reader. So I've read all these books. This is how privatized banking really works. And this was written by Carlos Lara and Bob Murphy, the two board members. This is a book that was written with Nelson Nash and Carlos and Bob Murphy. This is for business owners. Clearly, this is for business owners or non-business owners, but this really speaks to them. I would highly encourage you to read this. This is Nelson Nash's second book that he wrote by himself, Building Your Warehouse of Wealth. I've only read this once. IBC, I've read a couple times, 3 times. Privatized Banking, I've read once. Okay, so those are the main books to get and read. And if you want, I can get them for you. Just let me know. But here is the stack of other books, okay? They're all written by people that understand this concept. There's one, The Family Farm by Tom Young, good friend of mine now. Rick Buter, Great Wall Street Retirement Scam, qualified plans. Another one, I've read all these books. This one here, I love Kim Butler. She's awesome. She's become a good friend of mine. I think she's got 8 books. I highly recommend her looking at her books. Here's another one of her books, Busting the Life Insurance Lies, Unintended Consequences. This guy is great. This guy is really great. Paul Horsley, right up in Minnesota. Good friend there too. And Asset. Heads I Win, Tails You Lose by Patrick. Patrick's a great guy too. Good friend. Mary Jo Ehrman, her second book. You know, she wrote the book Farming Without the Bank. Confessions of a CPA by Brian Bloom. I don't know if you can see that. Here's his second book. Highly recommend these. So here's Farming Without the Bank, Mary Jo. Anyway, there's tons of books. I don't even have all the books here because I've loaned them out to people. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. And if you wish to watch the archived NNI, if you'd like to get in on that, let me know. And we'll see if we can make that happen. All right. Tally ho. Have a wonderful day. God bless.